Hey, everybody, Scoots, and I need your attention because we're going to be spending the whole night together. If you're an all-night listener, right? You're going to be listening to me when you go to bed, at 2 a.m., at 4 a.m., at 6 a.m. You listen to episode after episode after episode, but I need your attention. All-night listeners, the future of the show really is in your corner, and we're in the middle of this drive that we're only a third of the way through it to get more all-night listeners to support the show. And maybe you're one of them, because John R. said, I had no idea. I now realize I had inadvertently placed myself in a side channel where I just didn't get the message. I've been one of those people who meant to support the show but never did. I'm doing my part now. And so Sleep With Me keeps you company all night long. Like, maybe you're the one I'm trying to get through to. Maybe you're the only one listening and paying attention, the only all-night listener paying attention right now. Can you support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus? Will you support the show at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus? If you're saying, Scoots, I can't afford to do it. Scoots, I chose, I am an all-night listener, but I don't support podcasts. Well, if you're one of those two groups, just help me root that there is someone listening, that person is hearing me right now. Now, maybe you're that person, or maybe you're rooting that they're out there. I'm an all-night listener, too. I need this show. 8 hours a night, I need it. And I need somebody out there to support it. It's changed my life. And I hope somebody that listens all night long like I do supports it right now. So if you're the person we're rooting for, you're hearing me like John did for the first time, that's okay. All you need to do is go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus and sign up right now. Thanks.
This show is supported by Blue Land. You've probably heard that most of us are eating a credit card's worth of plastics every week, but you probably don't know that you're cleaning with microplastics every day. It's time to make the switch to Blue Land. Blue Land is on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make sustainable choices. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's formulas are 100% microplastic-free, made with certified clean ingredients, and free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals. All Blue Land cleaning products are safe to use around your family, your pets, your plants. Plus, Blue Land was named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year, so they're good for the planet as well. Blue Land is trusted in over 1 million homes by people who love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets their home clean. Blue Land has a special offer for listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/prx. Make the switch to Blue Land now by going to blueland.com/prx for 15% off. That's blueland.com/prx to get 15% off.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever alignment whether you're in alignment or, I've been out of alignment my whole life. I was thinking of alignment in role-playing games. But you say, well, I'm role-playing a person that doesn't understand when they talk about alignment, when they talk about my vehicle, even though I kind of understand it. And I say, well, that's fine. I'm used to my steering wheel being, I know the car will go straight if my steering wheel's at it's at a 30, whatever, 2 p.m. And then I say, what if, they say, I'm out of alignment, you're out of alignment. This whole role play's out of alignment. Anyway, I mean, it makes me think of stars too, but I say, yeah, that's what they say when I go to talk to somebody. And they say, you're out of alignment. And I say, I know. I guess that confirms it. Thanks. Do you charge? And they say, no, it's a flat fee. And I say, okay, well, then I might as well stick around. Why don't you tell me some other stuff? And I don't know. Anyway, if you're confused, and why is there all these empty pauses? Those pauses were actually empty pauses. They weren't even pregnant pauses. You say, what are all these empty pauses doing here? And this confusing banter. Well, welcome to Sleep With Me, a podcast that's here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff while you fall asleep. I'm so happy to be here to help. and to keep you company so you could get a good night's sleep because you deserve a good night's sleep. And I've been there, and a lot of other people listening have been there too. Now, the show's very different. It does take a couple times listening to it to get used to. Because then you realize, it takes a while to realize, I'm only kind of barely supposed to listen. I'm not supposed to do anything, but I could just barely listen to you, but I don't need to. So I'm really glad you're here. What we got coming up is support. That's how the show comes out. Free Choice Week, then a long, meandering intro that's meant to ease you into bedtime. And then we'll have our new series, A Journey into the World of Friends, about friends making a role-playing game about a journey into the world of friends. And I think that's it. As far as I can remember. So I'm so glad you're here. I work really hard. Oh, no, welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that's here to put you to sleep. And these sponsors are how we're able to do it for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots here, and I know you might be getting ready. You're getting in bed, you're getting comfortable. If you fall asleep fast, it's critical you listen. If you fall asleep fast, this show's kind of designed to put people to sleep over a 20 or 30-minute period, but that's great. You're an exception to the rule. You fall asleep fast. That is awesome. But we need people who fall asleep fast to support the show. There's just no other way for us to pay the bills. And I don't know if you're the one I'm trying to get through to that's listening to me, that's hearing me right now for the first time, you're making that connection. Holy cow, I fall asleep in 5 minutes. I never thought about what it takes to make this show. I never thought about that it needs my support. Or maybe you're one of the people rooting for that person. Man, I hope that person's out there that's going to support the show because it makes my life better. I just can't support the show. But I know there's someone out there who is. Like Tiffany Y, who said, just because you could get something for free doesn't mean you should. I know if I have trouble sleeping, I just have to listen. I'll be out in no time. That's definitely worth a few dollars a month. I'm pretty sure if you try it out and you fall asleep fast, you're going to have a great experience. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. But like I said, if you're not in a place to support the show right now, you've decided you're not going to support the show, then Root With Me is that fall asleep fast listener listening and hearing me right now. We just happen to catch you and we're rooting for you. Root for them together because we need your support. Are you hearing us cheer for you and you say, wait, no, that is me. That is me. Just like Tiffany. I had no idea. Of course I want to support the show. It's changed my life so much for the better. So if you're that person, you'll be the hero, the heroine, the champion we're looking for, that we're rooting for, because you're not alone. We're all rooting for one another together here in the deep dark night. Thanks. All right, everybody, welcome to our ongoing episodically modular series Journey into the World of Friends, which is an episodically modular series, which means you can kind of listen to it in any order. The characters are going to kind of do the place setting and set everything up for us. So, yeah, you could listen to the first two episodes. This is episode 3, I believe, when I'm recording this, of Journey into the World of Friends. And, so I'm glad you're here. What else do you need to know? Yeah, just listen to it. This is, even if you listen to this as a one-off episode, particularly this style, it's just going to be friends sitting around a table discussing a game and making a game and kind of playing the game. So, it'll be fun. And, let's just see how it goes. And now, to set everything up, our Hollywood announcer, Mr. Antonio Banderas. This is a Friends Beyond the Binary. This is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to be in a world of friendship. Hippie, hooray. Yeah. Wow, I feel like I feel like I'm a sphere, I don't know, I thought I was going to say something about like a moon orbiting your planet of friendship, joyously. Welcome to Journey into the World of Friends, everybody. Thanks and good night. Okay, hey, this is me, I'm Wata, wizard and friend And I'm just going to run through my notes. I'm glad everybody looks great. Glad everybody's here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Eleanor, you're going to take over. So go ahead. I know we've done a lot of work that is coming together. Go ahead, Eleanor. Yeah, hello, I'm Eleanor, and I'm a nurse healer of the Three Florences. And I'm here as, in an interesting position as we both discover a world that we like. I don't know, we're trying to put these pieces together. And I feel like I'm in world putting these pieces together. And we could be anywhere in that world, but we're together as a party now. And we had some tasks that I wanted to run through, and then we'll kind of pass it around the table. And in a more informal style, I'd like to try just as an experiment. This isn't like the best. It's just I feel like we have a lot of material to go through and even more supplemental material that we may not even get to. But so we left off. We had each been kind of doing different tasks. Let me just run through the tasks from last week. Was Zell had been working on the world. I was working on the villain, which were kind of complementary. Lord Von Chill and Granada of Darmok were working on the towns and rumors and party motivations. And Mwata kind of was working on more of the campaign specifics and the first encounter. And it's interesting, like where we left off last week, according to my notes, and this week is we needed to make sure there's credible challenge, or THREATs, and that there's a villain or like opposition creating that situation. And we started off kind of the week, and my notes trying to progress through the week, looking at kind of getting the party to choose a side, which is kind of developed, but where we left it when we left off, kind of the beginning of our work, was that maybe there'd be three sides. The park itself was going to become a force, which, and again, fits in with what interests us about this park. And as adventurers, the Baron or the Boil could be one choice the party may align themselves with or be motivated by. And then lastly, we had the idea of other leader, magic council. We weren't sure. And then we asked, like, again, how is this kind of a character we've been working on, this opposition leader to the Baron of the Boil, an opposing force? And Zell, do you want to take it now or later? Okay, I'll keep going. Okay, so we thought that they were maybe a magic user, or maybe there's some sort of, which I learned later is called an artificer or artificer, but we were thinking some sort of mechanical person, like someone that could have power over machines. And that kind of, to be honest, that idea kind of fell by the wayside, though we did do more supplemental research that I don't know if we'll get to this week, thinking about that. And then we kind of went into, again, these were just our basic discussions as the week grew on. Don't worry, everybody, we will get to the no bad idea section, which was kind of led by Wada, Granada, and Lord Von Chill. That is not supplemental material. We may not, don't worry, we will get to that. I see you moving in your seats. But first we got to the point of like, okay, so what do the players want? What does the opposing force want and the representative of the opposing force? And if this, also the idea, and again, I always want to head frame, if someone not of our group is playing this campaign, when it's finished, obviously, like, could they choose their own motivations? Like, are we building out characters with a specific backstory on a rail? And I think we kind of all decided, also in the vein of no bad ideas, that player choice would be interesting. But again, that the DM, this would create a situation for a DM to either improvise or prepare once they know who their party is. Because at first we were like, okay, it could be adventure, fame and fortune, or fame or fortune, loyalty to the Baron of the Boil, loyalty to the park, maybe some other opposing force. And then we got back to the town, and who wants to take it from here? Granada, Lord Von Chill? Yes, this is Granada of Darmok. So we thought about, first what we did earlier in the week, if we're progressing, is using the Oracle for the DM. And I don't think we returned to this, actually, so this is great that we're discussing it. It's the Oracle. They don't remember what we talked about last week, but that the Oracle would be, or the Oracle figure we're using as an Oracle, it was Sultana, which was some sort of mechanical thing which is imbued with magic. And I think it's important to know that, like, the DM would be able to choose what kind of magic that was. So there is some flexibility in there. You know, is it powered by the park? Is it a representative of the park? Or is it a representative of some other magic? But at first, the DM could also use the Sultana to determine what does the party want. But later in the week, we kind of decided, and I kind of forget, so we'll return to that. But that's where we started out. Like, maybe they even talked to the Sultana. What do you most desire? And we also came back to this idea with Leader X. Is the Sultana warning them about Leader X not to be trusted? Also, is Leader X listening in to these conferences with Sultana? Is Leader X influencing Sultana? Like, has Leader X just been sending people on pointless things? So what do we got? Okay, then the idea also came... And I guess we're somewhat undecided on this but again, it's good to have it as an optional thing, again, for lower level party members, or maybe the parties want to level up from 3 to 4 or 5. But what started at the beginning of our research and idea pitching as a mechanical, some sort of like childlike being that had left the world of friends and was visiting at only certain times the water side. And we kind of played around with them. We're a little bit unsure in how that would play into the party motivations. And again, how do we do this, or how would the DM do this in an efficient way? Because as our party is already kind of projecting itself into this first and second encounters without it detracting from the game too much, right? But also it's really cool. It's cool ideas, so we like it. And we'll return to it later in our discussion, but that's it for my report currently. Okay, Zell, why don't you come in, because this is about the world and the opposing force. This is Zell. Okay, so we definitely were like, okay, I don't know where we left off, but that basically whatever's happening in the park, well, I'll just go with what we have, right? And then it develops from there. Okay, so we knew that this force that's not the Baron of the Boil, former partner of the Baron of the Boil, was where I think we left it off, who had helped stop this, this velvet made what seemed like a battle more velvet, but brought the Baron of the Boil into power, was this central water exchange area, which was probably powered in a way and built in a way that it could last without very much maintenance, but was very well protected, and where all the water passes from the north into the southern regions. Now, I don't know if this is where we were last week, but that this whole thing is just a distraction in a sense, or a perk of what is actually happening. And it was the idea that this opposing character would be a magic user and go back to the actual lore of the park and what we experienced as adventurers, that there is this well or portal to another magical realm underneath the park that has leaked out and brought parts to the park to sentience. So it's a world that is not our own, or a power that is beyond our understanding. And so that actually what is happening is, because so much of this, that there's a large amount of water in the way. So now this whole thing of controlling the water is also because this character needed to remove water so they could get to what was underneath one of these lakes or canals or something. Or drain. Well, I guess later, Wada came up with the idea of draining some of these natural swamps. Yeah, it says here to open up some secret passageway. Otherwise, this leader would have kind of helped quietly kept the peace. But now they want to drain certain areas to get to this. So we don't have a total way, a connection to that. Well, I guess we kind of have a motivation, but not a connection. Now, the generalized downside of that is if they do that, not only will they think they'll achieve a power, they'll also awaken a powerful source of non-goodness beyond the imagination of our world. Okay, then we had a note of like, is this something we have to witness as a part of the party motivation that also makes this idea of a credible threat, right? And, again, and then it became the timing of this, but an idea of a high tower where they could see one of the swamps or a southern lake or canal. And then, then we came up with this idea of the Baron of the Boil, which kind of ties nicely together. I don't know. Do we lead right into that? Let me see the next notes. Okay, actually, it led us into kind of getting to know who this wizard was, of how they would have this power, which we'll talk about in a minute. And so this also kind of ties back into the park as one of the choices of who to work for. And maybe each member of the party decides separately, because the park, I mean, in the history, in the real lore, we believe, a lot of us believe, and even in our own game, like that, the park somehow has a mostly nurturing, whatever power is giving sentience to the park. It is it's not powerful, but it is kind of nurturing for the most part, or in need of kind of nurturing behavior. But it's also a kind of power that needs assistance by human means. It needs adventurers to help it and empower it. Versus, again, this outside force, both in our world, represented by this character we're working on, and some sort of external entity, which may or may not ever, this is just us as the storytellers talking about it. Does that entity in this particular adventure have to be acknowledged in a concrete way? And also the kind of world, as I like to get into the some of it is like that. Yeah, maybe the park itself is like a cork, and like those corks that we learned about in like basic archaeology classes from the old world, was that corks were porous. And, we see it in trees and stuff like that. But so that some goodness could leak out. But the cork was corking something much different. But somehow the goodness is what's leaking out mostly into the park and bringing life to the park. And again, a way that is, that kind of aligns with everything. Yeah, no, it doesn't quite make sense. We don't understand it all. Even the most powerful wizards in our world would say they don't understand. But yeah, what else? The park is real and alive, surrounded by living things. And to go back to this opposing force, they want to blow the cork off, and whatever's at the bottom of the jar also wants the cork blown off. And I think that's it for me for now. Who wants to kind of take Lord Von Chill? Yes, Lord Von Chill here. So with all that in mind, we arrived at the idea of us as backup, right? I thought we were going to get to the notes. Oh, it's coming up. Oh, wow. So I get to go through this part. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so, but overall, we came up with the idea that switching from, this is a new idea, right? That we are backup. So one of the things the Baron of the Boil assigned us was backup as to go in to find the Baron of the Boil's son, who the Baron of the Boil assumes is either somewhere in the world of friends trying to get to the this character or being held by this character. But the Baron of the Boil has sent in 3 or 4 ships full of like transports full of the Baron of the Boil's troops, right? And we're just back up in case that doesn't work out. Now we have our own motivations, obviously, and our own reasons to adventure. They all care. We're trying to control, I don't recognize any of this stuff, but okay, so then we came up with this idea that makes sense of starting to look at who is this that's doing all this? What are they up to? And the idea of them being a dragonborn, but not maybe knowing it, which again gets into kind of the uniqueness of our campaign in our world, like, so not breaking any rules, but bending them. And maybe this dragonborn, I mean, this is where everything sprung out of, right, is these other things that they're being told tale by some maybe false dragon or a real dragon that is uncorked in this other world. And that the park and the water is what's holding them back. And then the idea that the water itself is one of the corks. I think that's an M-Water thing. Okay, so that this would be a person that considers themselves part like a anthropomorphized, like a lizard being, right? And that they've always. So when we started to get into back to where we were, okay, this is somebody that's always played by the rules. They've always excelled, and they've tried to follow customs and beliefs. But and so they've developed a very self-righteous and sanctimonious personality, but that's just sitting on top of this deep fear that they never fit in because one, lizard beings are treated kindly, or they're looked upon as different. They're dragonborn, which isn't really a thing that's well known about because the dragons are just the stuff of legends, right, in our world. So the idea that you could be a dragon, part dragon, is not something, but that would be a motivator for the character of like a disconnection from our world and dissatisfaction. But that by covering it up, by excelling at most things, playing by the rules, but then being self-righteous and sanctimonious when other people don't follow the rules, but then, developing that kind of attitude. And that's when the idea came as a group. It was a really good idea of like, wait a second. Okay, so why would this person partner with the Baron of the Boil? And again, with the Baron of the Boil's son being a part of this, is that they were the Baron of the Boil has been they've been the Baron of the Boil's foundling in a sense. And their sponsor or something. So the Baron of Boil was like a parent-like figure for them, or a patron, but not on either side of the nurturing side, more of like on the middle side. So they didn't give them this nurturing, but they sent them to the best schools, then sent them to the best wizard school or whatever, world of sorcery, and invested in them and their potential and their skills. So the Baron of Boil believed in them greatly, and maybe the Baron of Boil was just misguided, not knowing they needed a little bit more loving and tenderness. and understanding, or maybe, maybe nothing could be done. But that also creates a tension with this character, whose name is Vidul, right? Vidul of the Boil. But then we change it to Vidul the Green. And that there's this tension between Vidul and the Baron of the Boil's son, because the Baron of the Boil's son was not a wizard and lived at home, was schooled at home and stuff like that. So spent a lot of time with the Baron, which is also creates this interesting thing of in a hurry to get away, where Vidul became nearly an equal partner with the Baron back when they were running the underworld, right? And then as they came up with this plan, I would assume that Vidul was a part of this plan to create the peace, but also at some point unaware to the Baron of the Boil was this other plan had developed. Okay, now we switch tone. Wada, why don't you take over? Okay, we're kind of jumping around. This is kind of like this was a basic brainstorm on farmland, or what party motivations there could be, at least for our party, like the Lord Von Chill, that when this happens, Lord Von Chill owns a lot of farmland and will be, very impacted by the lack of water. Also maybe loyal to the Baron of the Boil because of some sort of deal made. And Granada of Darmok is a part of this guild or underworld, so has a connection, so is loyal to the Baron of the Boil in that sense. Or maybe even has some promise. We thought about Zell as being of the people that transport everything by boat through these canals, supporting those workers and people that work on the farms. Wada of the curiosity of water and magic at play and the natural flow of water versus the current flow of water versus the need for water. And Eleanor, kind of the idea of the balance of the Florences and ensuring the balances of Florences. Okay, so then again, we go back to Vidul. This is a little bit repetitive, but yeah, like a dragonborn or lizard person, but there's no dragons in our world, and this big reveal will be some sort of mist dragon spell that we've never seen in our world. Yeah, I think this is best schools saw the rules. The rules were for those in power, but Vidul is smarter, but also very rich, or Baron of the Boil is, but they could never fit in. Originally, maybe even the Baron tried to deny them and say, make your way, don't make your way as part of the underworld, but they wanted it and proved their way. And they definitely feel superior to people, rules and customs. They feel left out, maybe inferior, a little bit angry and pointless. Who am I? These are deep down questions. Maybe even this belief I am but there are dragons. I mean, and again, this could be proven to be real and false, or maybe is this a real dragon talking to them or a false dragon? Whole thing about family and stuff like that. And, okay, now we get into the next encounter, which I guess I'll keep going on. So the Pollywogs, because this kind of goes into this idea. So we knew that Pollywogs had a deal with Vidul to watch their territory for anybody coming in. It's a simple deal. You could have this territory outside of the ride in the loading area. It doesn't have any importance to Vidul. If anybody comes there, you capture them and you give them to me. And so then the idea of our first encounter, one of the ways it could play out, or most of the way it could play out, is that we were captured, or we, make peace, because it did seem very unlikely you'd have to do the giant toad and the two giant frogs. Even if a party was to get through that, then they would have the Pollywogs who have a setup on the inside So it's like, will it be a peaceful negotiation depending on the party's skills? They could choose to keep battling all the way through or to rest. I don't know. There's a lot of ways it could play out, but the one way, and again, we could adjust the story, but as far as the story goes, I think like them being captured, because again, if someone wants to blast through this whole attraction, they could do that. I mean, I don't know how successful they would be. But the idea, at least, of setting this up of like, okay, so then we're captured. Then we spend the night, and there's other Pollywogs either in the room with us or in adjoining rooms where the Pollywogs are keeping us. But they're different. They're dressed differently than the Pollywogs that have us. If we could establish a magical or actual way to communicate with these other Pollywogs, they would tell us, hey, we're trying to warn these other Pollywogs, but we're so territorial. That's why we're here. Pollywogs are hyper local, right? So, like these Pollywogs want to tell the other Pollywogs that like the Izzard cannot be trusted, and that their swamp is being drained, and that's why they're here. They came to warn them that it was going to happen to them next. In that they can't trust the Izzard. And that's where they escaped from, but then they were captured by these Pollywogs. And also they can't communicate, like, because they're hyper-local, they communicate in different ways. So it's just one opportunity to and again, depending on the DM, they could really make this like over-the-top a trial or whatever. Or you could do like a sneak out and use them. Or you could negotiate and say, hey, by the way, we're able to communicate with these Pollywogs and you. And this is what we know. Like, are you going to keep trusting this Vidul or not? We really don't have something where they get caught. And right now they're being held for an interminable amount of time. And I think that can help because it doesn't make sense for the campaign for them to get brought to Vidul at this point. So again, like we could just keep it doing it. I don't know. That's like a little bit of area where it's like we would be forcing the player's hands somehow. Okay, so who wants to take Zell? Why don't you take this? Like this is all when we had our this is tons of stuff for the next few encounters and stuff like that. I have no bad ideas, concepts, ideas, rooms, no bad ideas. Because Zell, you had one unique idea. Yeah, I mean, I saw it would be fun to do one-off shot campaigns or rooms. I mean, I know it's not time for that, but so I put pumpkin character, and then maybe a holiday character. But so that was one idea. Then so you want me to just keep going? Okay, so then what if there's some sort of other character, like anarchy type that wants to just, I'm just going through that. Okay, so that wants to get rid of the whole attraction. Maybe there's a cat person who settles disputes, or do we have to settle disputes? Some sort of mechanic, a positive mechanic who needs parts. So these are other possible quests within the rooms. Or a room full of all broken characters, baby berry poo. So maybe there's who wants to like rally the ride to stop the duel. Maybe there's some humans that are in the ride, former workers somehow. Characters who think they're people from have taken on the personality of the people that built the park or the mythology behind the park. Toy maker, ? A chaos character. There's that Mad Hatter pirate. This was a funny idea, I think. Dancers that are in a group that's exclusive and something, and they have a leader we heard about some of those. That was was that a belief system they had in the before time? That dancers were like, you danced to grass. There was dance-offs, right? Dance duels. Giant walrus who's grouchy and not nice but could be useful. A voice of reason. no revolve the ride secrets, twins who repair and break rides, prankster, pacifist, ethereal beings, a leader who no one can find. I don't know what that says. Then, we find a cache of old security items, laser beams or stuff like that. Nights, hidden rooms, laboratory. Or a wizard's place where they're trying to, maybe something from the before time, or the wizards have something set up. Like that other one, they had this, it was Desmond, was it? There was some sort of place hidden where this person Desmond lived who changed a clock or something. Third party. There maybe like some sort of other thing, reprogramming the rides, or maybe that's just happening, or it's a malfunction. Humans. Okay. We had that. Tesla coil, acid, flame, foam, security, lost archives. Different things that people have made, to catch people. Hidden messages, hidden map, noise, goal, goal, like some sort of key or security pass, something that seems like it's good, like whether it be a weapon or a treasure that's not, some sort of robotic, like a combination of like a suit or like some sort of being that's a combination of beings, hidden vaults. Control room, like secondary control room, organic beings that have been changed by maybe the non-positive part of the park, or some sort of power source, robotic guards, reprogrammed dolls, or ones that have been taken over by ethereal beings. Some other smaller villain that has control of tech or other beings. Then we switch back. So does somebody want to take it from here, Eleanor? Okay, yeah, this is, this was in the middle of the no bad ideas. This was an important idea that came up. Pollywogs. We're not keeping people out of, so there's one entrance, so they have the secret door where they leave the people they captured for Vidul. But it's like the rest of the ride is blocked off, right? And impassable. But obviously there has to be one secret way in, which we're thinking is actually the normal entrance to the ride. But when we finally negotiate, however it is with the Pollywogs, they're going to have to get this information or discover it, which would be really hard. They say, no, we're not keeping people out. We're keeping them in. Okay, someone control, magic, tricksters. We kind of covered this. CLOWNs. Animated objects. Again, ones that are like been taken over control or some sort of self-replicating code. Animatronics from other parts of the park that have come here. Different characters, the child boy. And then, do we have, is there any things that involve puzzle solving, stealth, escape, like getting away? Is this the one part of the ride or the part of the adventure we're trying to sneak out? Negotiations is always a popular thing between two groups. Try to make them work together. Is there some sort of way we could use something within the attraction or one of the rooms to sabotage Vidul? Obviously, we have to find, and one of our main tasks, we're not even really tasked with stopping Vidul, right, is getting the Baron of the Boiled Sun. So I guess that could be part of the getaway one. Parts needed, find parts or pets or lost item, missing parts. Repair something, or some sort of resource, and I think it would be nice too. I mean, again, in the spirit of our belief systems, like indirectly of like, what if one of the things is that we're allowing them to live in peace within this world. Because we do know, and again, as part of our discussions, like these characters can't really exist outside of their territory either. Like they have to live within their attraction for the most part, so that they could live happy and free. What else we got? Post, go, truth, secrets. Oh, secrets from past, long ago. Okay, maybe we build towards some big thing between Vidul and the characters of the ride. Stop the war, save the ride, find a lost toy, factions of characters. What else we got? A lot of this. Okay, so then, Granada, do you want to take it? Okay, so we do want to, so again, we go back to this Pollywogs. If we work a negotiation with the Pollywogs is successful or whatever, we do want to get into the ride, obviously, because we learn that, yeah, that's the way to get to where we're going. And again, I think we didn't establish that Vidul is using characters from the rides. The characters won't know this yet, or will they? Because if we go up on that tower, is that in the notes? I just want to make sure that we see, maybe do we see, but somehow, or with the child type thing, that we learn that, that the parts of the rides are being built to do work for Vidul, because this is like whatever, draining the swamp, it takes a lot of effort. Okay, but they also tell us, yeah, the Pollywogs, they don't want to leave the load area. They just want to live there. The toys can't really leave, or the whatever, the ride characters can't really leave the ride. But we don't need to go in there. We're happy where we are, and they don't really want to come out. But if they do, we've had conflicts. So, also maybe the idea that the toys can't really swim. I don't know. That idea came up. Okay, so then we're back up. Okay, so show of strength fails. Does the leader X also turn on the characters, forces them to make a move? So that was basically, I'll leave that to you, Wada. Okay, so what if a mechanical child, so now we're going back to these motivations in the town, is the mechanical child gives us, okay, so this is the Oracle versus the mechanical child. Do we need both? We haven't decided that. But this is still in the kind of, this is where the no bad ideas becomes, let's focus on the ideas. And so then it's like, oh, does the Oracle give them emotional quests and the child gives them specific quests? And so and then we started to think about, we did a lot of research on famous dragons, and what if someone of them could be an archetype for Vidul? So does the Oracle give them a goal aligned with their emotional needs of each member or the party as a whole? Maybe prints out magical cards of a person. So I think this was a good idea that we should keep, is to again, to kind of jump back to earlier, is like, oh, so if Lord Von Chill sees farmland withering, he's going to be more motivated, and sees like a sad person at the marketplace with nothing to sell that, has to pay a tithe to Lord Von Chill, and how that affects, someone that I might associate with, because then they have nothing to negotiate. So we see a farmer, a soldier, a boat captain, mother, child, a group, a town, feeling the impacts of this water shortage. And maybe there's even a subtext. You say, well, I don't know if a water shortage would be that bad of what we're seeing on the card, but that, because there's also this other force that's being released. And then the idea that the mechanical child is not a child, not a toy, like not actually, it's a projection. And it appears outside the gates full moon. This is the idea we kind of basically came up with. Disappears if you approach it according to the troops and people in the town. But it's talking to itself. So maybe the characters have to use stealth or magic to approach and listen in. And then maybe going through our no bad ideas list, maybe the child or this character, whatever, that's what we're calling it, the child, kind of tells them the plight of some of the toys or the treasures or the secrets, the fact that they are working. So maybe there's some sort of exchange of information, but motivating information. Like, but I guess this doesn't make sense because the toys are actually working for Vidul. So they're leaving the ride to do that. So that is a hole in our logic that we didn't see earlier. So yeah, this is a projection of some toy. Oh, this was another idea. And this is not even a no bad idea. This is that, what if one of the characters in the ride has somehow learned like basic level of magic or found a magic staff or magic scrolls? So that's how they're doing the projecting. But basically it's helping give quests based on the character's wants. So the oracle would be based on the needs of the characters if we're getting that deep. And Wada, why don't you wrap everything up with the big dramatic reveal, and then we can get to working on stuff for next week. Okay, so yeah, I think this is good. So, well, let's go through the assignments for next week is figuring out that thing with the characters, finalizing and locking in. Vidul, what's Vidul doing? What's the specifics that are happening? And, yeah, I mean, that shouldn't take too long. I think we're there, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to just kind of be locked for now. And then the rest of us start working on the first room and what's going to happen there and kind of picking some of the ideas, but also thinking about like the overall story, because we're going to be needing to gather where's the sun, where's Vidul, how do we get there, what are the obstacles in our way? So there has to be some also impasses or challenges or things we need to gather. Otherwise, why would we not just kind of blast our way through? And I think that's it. I think we're really into like gameplay now. And I also kind of promise to get a better idea of how this is going to end. So where we're going, but also to kind of keep that somewhat under the sleeve, you know. But basically, I think what we're saying is, do we need to see the ride characters working for Vidul or not? I don't think so, because maybe that's happening in a subterranean way. But I do think seeing this example of power, so maybe there is a tower or very tall trees that we're guided to, or that maybe there is just a tower that they use to watch the canals, and the troops are like, okay, today's the day at dawn when the Baron is going to send in the 4 ships with cannons or whatever, I don't know, or magic users to kind of tell Vidul, hey, just let's again show force to establish peace. And maybe Vidul's even made an idea but that's why we're the backup. But then when we see something that is mind-boggling, which I think it does, I agree for the story, I think this is a necessary component. It has to be some sort of mist dragon. We did try to find those spells. We haven't found something that fits. Like the meteor spell was the closest thing. That's a 9th level spell. So I don't know, we still have to kind of get an idea of if that's because again, then later we face Vidul. Would 5th level characters be able to, so we have to kind of figure that gap in, but basically there's 2 or 3 or 4 ships and they're sitting outside of this pumping station, right? In these locks, and they've come from the south or the north. I guess it doesn't matter, but they're sitting there, and maybe they're even spread out, and then this mist dragon comes and just wipes them all out. And it's kind of unbelievable, but it's also the Baron kind of suspected something. So again, that's it. We have to go. So it creates I don't know. I think it is a story event that has to happen because, does it maybe, right? I guess it doesn't necessarily need to happen, but it would be cool. And it would also let us know what we're dealing with. And maybe in that sense, because it is so powerful, maybe it's more powerful than Vidul's level. Or maybe it makes the characters more cautious and realizes they're going to need a team larger than they'll need NPCs, whether they're from the ride or not. So I don't know. I guess we're open to figuring that out, too. So I think that's a concrete thing we need to research is what level is Vidul? Because we didn't talk about that. How powerful is Vidul? And how's this achieved? Obviously it's some sort of otherworldly power. I guess it would be that whatever this mist that's infiltrating and giving Vidul advice Vidul finds some sort of artifact. But I think it also helped if, really dialing in what level is Vidul. But either way, I think it should motivate the party to be creative and not just rush in, even though we're trying to prepare for people that want to play that way. So, okay, I think we're good. Thanks, everybody. I know this is a very character-only thing, but it's good to be with all my characters. Hopefully we'll have a meal. No, nobody so we're not going to eat together as a team. Okay, well, how about next week we do? While we discuss it or after? Okay, afterwards. Could we have a snack before we go over things as a team? Everybody will think about it. Okay, well, everybody get some rest now, and we'll go from there. Good night, everybody. All right, I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. I want to thank Paul, Jason, and Jennifer. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Helen, Marianne, and Jeannie. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. John, M, and Gino. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Samuel, Christy, and Deborah. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Emily, Hester, and Kelly. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Jill, Christopher, and Catherine. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. And Betty and Camille, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Sleep With Me exists because people support the show directly on Patreon or Apple Podcasts, and we grow the show by people kind of spreading the word about the podcast for free. Just let people know about it on social media or forums or whenever it comes up. You don't have to push it. Just bring it up, when it comes up. And we've been able to expand our offerings over the past few years from 200 to over 500 plus episodes in the free archives because of sponsors like this one or Scoot's asking for support. Thanks and good night, everybody.
This show is supported by Odoo. When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.